Hey guys, I know we said that Adrian and I are going to be making some videos, but Adrian's been mostly staying up late, drinking beer, sleeping late in the mornings. He met a couple of cheerleaders and has been spending a couple of days at their house. And then last night, the Pope is in town. Last night the phone rings and the Pope said he wanted to see Adrian, so he came and got him in a car this morning. So I got no idea where this guy is or even if he's coming back. But in the meantime, Nick from Connecticut sent a bunch of locks from his collection. Said he wanted me to take a look at them, maybe open a couple of them. He said there's a couple easy ones and a couple of not so easy ones. So this, he said, is one of the easy ones. It's an old Corbin cabinet lock, complete with keys. Pretty good bidding on that one. He said that's easy. Of course, we've seen these little locks before, these little 40 millimeters. They're pretty quick to get into. And then the hard one, he said might even be unpickable, so I'm not going to try it in this video. I'll save it for later. But Abus 4540 with a pretty evil looking little keyway, very small scale, and when you throw it in with this bidding, that's what I think makes him say that it might be unpickable, because you got to reach under those really low cuts, and there might not be enough room in there. But anyway, the last one is a little bit different than the way it came out of the package. This is he says a custom pinned American, all hand pinned. He calls it his sleeper lock. And looks very nice. I didn't check the date, but it was a little bit grungy. So the first thing I did to it is squirt a little of our favorite lubricant in there. The other thing I did, because I've been getting some challenge locks lately that were not pickable because they've basically been deliberately pinned to be unopenable, I took the tape off of here. And the only reason I did that is to make sure the lock works. And this one does. Lately I've spent an awful lot of time trying to pick locks that were not pickable, because that's the way they were designed, as a joke, I guess. But so now lately I've decided I did go to a public school. I think I told you guys that. I'm a little slow on the uptake, but what I've started doing is, even if a lock comes with a key that's been wrapped, I generally will unwrap it and make sure the lock works before I waste a lot of time. Alright, let's see what we got here. It is an American with a sleeper core. Okay, let's try the thick one, see if that works any better. And it does, it fits nice and tight. A lot of floppiness in there, so I'm going to zoom in just a bit. Maybe you guys can see if we get some feedback. I have not picked this. That ought to work. A lot of play in that thing. And I'm going to try a standard hook. See if I can get that baby in there. And that warding is just not letting me around it. Let's try the same pick, except in a 15 thousandths. Hopefully this one will fit. And it does. I can feel it scraping, but it does fit. Alright, all the way to the rear, a little bit of light tension. And let's see what Nick has for us. Looking for some feedback. Looking for a binding pin. A springy. I got one click out of pin 1. Okay, pin 3, a little bit of, I don't know if you can see a little counter rotation there. Might be a spool. Or serrate. I got a click out of him. Didn't act like a spool. I got feedback like a spool though. Okay, I think that was pin 5. Got a click out of him. There's 3 again. I got a little turn on the core. I don't know if you see it. I felt it in my thumb though. Yeah, hopefully Adrian comes back. He left his laptop here and the girls keep calling looking for him. I'm kind of glad he's gone, because that guy can drink some beer, let me tell you. I got a little turn, very good turn on the core now. Looking for some counter rotation or feedback. I am on 4, it feels like. Let me fish around a little bit. Make sure nobody else has stronger feedback. And that seems to be okay. I'm going to go back to 4. Thought I had it there. Come on. Counter rotation, he's got some spooliness to him. I'm bending my pick though. There we go. Alright. We're at 5 minutes. Sorry about that. All that talk about Adrian. Let me zoom this out. Oops, other way, Bill. And make sure we can get in this thing. Yep, Phillips. It looks like a homemade screw too. It doesn't look like the standard American. Looks almost like a... It is a Phillips, but it's angled, almost like a wood screw. Okay, he had a wafer on there. Might have been, oh, he got 2 wafers. So he watched the video about how to improve an American lock and prevent it from getting bypassed. Nothing else unusual. Let me get that screw. That is a weird looking. No, it was standard. It just looked like a wood screw from the top. All right, we have a taped up core with WD-40 residue. It does have a circlip on the back. Let me go ahead and get the pin board over here. We won't need that. We won't need that. Get that out of the way. Won't need that. And let's get that clip off. Yeah, if any of you guys are thinking about sponsoring Adrian, you know, for like a short visit, my advice to you would be stock up on 10 or 12 cases of beer before he shows. Okay, I'm getting stuck in here. I'm going to take a look, see what we got. There is a pin there, and he's not coming out. And it feels like the core is stuck in there pretty good. I can't imagine what would be sticking him in there. There's nothing on the bottom to hold him. I just don't get it. What's holding him in there? That tape is starting to melt. Okay. Alright. Something gave. So now maybe I can force him now. Something was definitely hung up in there. Something is still hung up in there. That core just does not want to come out. I have no idea. Feels like there's a pin stuck in it, but there's nothing for it to stick in. I just don't. Come on. Alright, well, we can see that there are 6 pins. Let's try to dump those first, and then we'll do some other stuff. Try to free things up. I don't want to spill everything. Okay, that was pin 2, fell out. Pin 1 is a steel standard. 3 is serrated. 4 is serrated. 5 is serrated. I don't know if we're going to be able to get 6 out of there. Come out. Guys, I don't get it. There's no, there we go, there's 6, it's a standard. Okay, now I don't have to worry about the core too much, I just have to worry about all the guts falling out. I can feel it, definitely caught. It seems like it's wedged up in there on something. I don't know if it's a modification to the lock. Try to turn it a bit. Good Lord. Alright, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take this tape off. There may be something jammed up in there. I can't imagine what it would be. But this may be the only way to get the top pins out without just pulling out the follower. Because as soon as I do that, they're all going to plunge to the bottom. We won't know what sequence they're in or anything. Alright, looks like we got different springs. Okay, so let's keep this straight. We got 1, 2's a little short one, 3's a little short one. That was 6. And the last one, barely in there. There we go. Okay, he's still not wanting to come out of there. So I'm going to start dumping the pins from the top. I'm going to start with 1. There we go. So he was getting caught up in the back rim there with probably, with this evil bastard right here, a pin in pin. That's a really interesting. I'll look at him in a minute a little closer. That's what was getting hung up. No wonder, Bill. Alright, I'm just going to pull these out like so. Come out of there. There he is. Just a serrated. That's all he was. 5 is a serrated spool. And the last one. Another pin in pin, it looks like. I don't see the other pin, but I do see something stuck inside of there, though. There's definitely something stuck in there. I just can't. You know, I think that's countersunk. It's exactly what it is. It's counter milled. So this last, well, let's look at this. This, the top here, let me get the flashlight, is interesting because he's gone to the trouble to thread. It looks like, so this would be number 1 on this end. So he's threaded 4 and 5. And then, I don't know if you can quite make it out here, but look in this last chamber. You'll notice he's counter milled it, and there's a tiny little hole in there. It looks like he's put some kind of insert in there so that this last pin fits down inside of there through that insert, which doesn't seem to want to come out of there, and goes through the hole. So the last pin that you're picking is about half of the diameter. Really unique. I'll say that. That's unique. Okay, let's look at the core real quick. Okay, with that first pin is a, well, let's look at the pins and I'll look at the core. We'll figure out why we got caught up. Alright, so I've already looked at the bottom. We got 2 standards, which is number 1 and number 6. All the rest are serrated lower pins or key pins. On the top, we had this very unique, it's almost like a pin in pin, but it floats on you, plus it's serrated. We got a homemade, I don't even know what you call a spool with some serrations on it. This one, and I don't even know what that is, guys. I really don't. Standard serrated, at least I know that, these 2, and a serrated spool. And then, of course, that last one we had this pin. Let's look at the core. The reason we were getting caught up in that last step is because this little pin in pin, when it was coming out, that little pin was being pushed down by the spring and it got stuck in this, in the circlip groove. So it just wasn't quite letting me get it out of there. That's some of the dangers of a challenge lock, and that's probably why they don't pin these like this commercially. But this is a really good job, Nick. I'm sorry I picked it first. Because, anyway, Nick, thank you for the lock. I appreciate it. I'll get around to picking at least this Abus. This one really does look interesting. Sorry it took so long, guys. I'll try to find Adrian for the next video. I'm not holding my breath because those cheerleaders seem determined to take him away for the weekend. So we may not see Adrian again. But anyway, thanks, guys. Take it easy. Stay safe. Stay legal. Guys, sorry about that. I forgot to get back to the core, and I didn't realize it until I started putting it together. But a lot of work went on this core, too. You can see that almost all of them are threaded. 1, 3, and 5 are all threaded. And the rest of them, believe it or not, are counter-milled. You can tell by the larger diameter. And he went to the trouble to counter-mill them to different depths to snag those homemade pins that he put in there. Goodness gracious. Anyway, sorry about that. Sorry I missed it, but there you go. Thanks, Nick.
You will flip when you see Bosnianbill's YouTube channel. Subscribe now.